Your personal brand will either magnetize or repel potential coaching clients and students, and there's a lot more to it than you think. Today, I'll be giving you some actionable personal branding tips to implement so that you can build your personal brand in your online coaching business starting right now. Welcome back to SLG TV. This is the place for online coaches to build, market, and monetize their coaching businesses. Now, coach, personal branding is so different than it was 5 years ago or 3 years ago or even 1 year ago. The rules have completely changed and basically been thrown out the window, which is a good thing. Now, in 2020, your personal brand goes well beyond a logo, trendy script fonts, or an on-point color palette. Not saying that those things don't matter, because they do. However, your personal brand is personal, which means that it's a reflection of you as a human. It gives off a feeling, and it's your version of creative expression that inspires your peeps to vibe with you and your offers. And you better believe that potential clients and students are online stalking you on multiple platforms to learn more about you. So here's the thing, friend. Every time you show up online or in person, you're showcasing your brand, because you are your brand. Yes, that means posting a political rant on your personal Facebook page or liking that cat video in your feed that everyone can see. Whether you realize it or not, everything you do online ripples out into your personal brand. It's how you create influence, which then leads to impact and ultimately income. Now, there are a lot of coaches, consultants, and strategists out there, so your most valuable asset when it comes to standing out from the crowd is that you're you. And here are a few simple tips to support you in expressing your you-ness out into the world. Personal branding tip 1, your story. Now, the foundation of your coaching business is your story of triumph. This is how you have moved through your challenges and mindsets and experiences and blocks to get to where you are today. Your story is how you've come to cultivate your faith in yourself, as well as to develop your expertise and sharpen your strengths and tap into your genius. And that, my friend, is 100% authentic and unique to you, because it can't be replicated. You see, your story of triumph not only supports your potential clients in seeing themselves in your results, meaning that they're thinking to themselves, well, if she can do it, then I can do it too. It also helps them to relate to you because you've been where they are and you've felt the way that they're currently feeling. Now, ultimately, sharing your story helps to position you as an expert, and that's when your ideal clients and students begin to see you as the solution to their problems. Personal branding tip number 2, your vibe. You have a vibe, and so does your brand. Ideally, they're the same vibe. So what do I mean by vibe? Your personal brand vibe is a combination of how it feels, how it looks, and how well it's communicated. So let's start by clarifying how it feels. This is what I call your brand essence. Now, the definition of the word essence is soul, spirit, and core. Think about that. Like, how cool is that? Your coaching business brand has a soul. Just like the soul expresses in personality through humans, it also expresses in personality through your brand. So think about it. If your brand were a human, how would it show up? Does it have a quirky personality, or is it more authoritative, or maybe it's playful, or perhaps it's inspiring? Essentially, your brand personality is going to be your personality, and it's important to really think about it because the soul of your personal brand awakens a feeling and impression and overall experience within your audience. It's how people internally experience your brand. So let's get to the soul of your brand. Go ahead and take a moment and imagine that someone who's never seen or experienced you before has found you either through social media or your website or a Google search. Imagine they're snooping around on your page trying to see what you're up to. How do they feel? So think about, what's their facial expression after seeing your images and your videos? What's their gut telling them after experiencing your copywriting? What's their mind telling them after engaging in your brand personality? So what's the immediate first impression they have after experiencing your coaching business brand? This is your brand essence. So take a moment and let me know in the comments below what your brand essence is. Specifically, I want to know how you want your brand to feel to your ideal clients and students. So go ahead and put that in the comments below now. Next, get a sense for how your brand looks. And this is the fun part. So you want to choose a look and feel for your brand so that it's recognizable. Now, the goal is that when people see certain colors or fonts or filters, they immediately think of you. And this isn't something you just pull out of your tushy. These are colors that you naturally gravitate towards. So you'll probably find yourself wearing clothes or jewelry in these colors. Maybe your bedroom or home decor already showcases these colors as well. Maybe these colors show up in your physical features. So for me, I have green eyes and I've always worn a lot of black clothes with gold jewelry. And I don't know, maybe it's the New York in me or the Italian in me. So I wasn't surprised that I naturally gravitated towards black, gold, and green in my personal branding. So go ahead and take a moment and look around your environment and see what you're already naturally gravitating towards, because it just might be a part of your brand vibe. Now that you have a cohesive look and feel for your personal brand, it's time to get clear on your personal brand messaging. And know that I'm not talking about the content that you're going to be sharing at this point. That comes a little bit later on. To start, I'm talking about your you-isms. Now, these are statements and catchphrases and words and one-liners that you say in your everyday life. Coach, you know yourself better than anyone. Obviously, but do you articulate that? So take some time to sit down and write out all the things that really make you, you. And don't worry about what this coach over here is doing or what that strategist over there is saying. Go ahead and put on some blinders for a moment, stay in your lane, and focus only on yourself. There are no wrong answers here, and there are definitely no rules. So some of the things that you can write about are your mission or a help statement. You could talk about your personal or professional obsessions. You could talk about your values or your non-negotiables. You can talk about your role in your family or your why. So you can see there's a lot of you-ness here. It's also important to think about the specific language you're using. So are you cool with cursing, or does that feel inauthentic to you? Do you say y'all a lot in real life? Start including your little catchphrases or slang words into your copy, and people will start associating you with a particular style. So for me, I say tush or tushy a lot, and I'm okay with saying shit or ass, but F-bombs aren't authentic for me. I also say hi friend and let's do this a lot. Then on the personal side of personal branding, I call myself a tea snob, and I'm rose obsessed. Like, seriously, I use rose everything, rose essential oil, I drink rose, I wash my face with it, I have rose lip balm. And friend, I share all that stuff with my audience. Then professionally, I'm a total organization nerd, and I think that's because of the Virgo in me. And I'm legit obsessed with Kajabi, as well as a couple other business tools. And you can learn why I'm so obsessed with Kajabi by clicking up here. So you can see that these are things that make me me, and I bring that into my copy all the time, which helps people to relate to me and to move forward with a coaching relationship in some sort of form or fashion. Now, once you have this list of you-isms, you can start narrowing down your voice, which will help you in your content marketing, which we'll be talking about in just a few minutes. Personal branding tip number 3, your searchability. Now, this is how you get known for what you do. You know how people go into Google or Pinterest or YouTube and they search for topics? Maybe they're trying to solve a problem or learn how to do something or find an answer to their questions. Regardless, the goal is for you to show up on the front page. Now, when I'm talking about searchability, I'm talking about making it easy for people to first find you, second, know who you are and how you could support them, and then third, where else they can learn from you. So you can see in my YouTube videos, I share my Instagram handle. I'm not sure if it's here or here, but it's one of those spots. Then if you go to my Instagram, you'd see a clear optimized bio and content around similar topics. So I'm always talking about mindset or digital products or building and monetizing an online coaching business. Next, if you were to friend me on Facebook, you'd see a banner that encourages you to join my private Facebook group. So you can see that I'm making it easy for people to find me and learn from me on multiple platforms. And your job is to do the same. Personal branding tip number 4, your influence. Now, your influence is the amount of authority you have online. This is referring to things like showing up on the first page of Google, YouTube, or Pinterest for certain keywords, or increasing your website visitors per month, and consistently engaging your community of followers on social and in your Facebook group, and nurturing your growing email list. So you get this by creating opportunities for people to follow you, oftentimes through posting consistent, valuable content that people want to share, and also by you sharing content everywhere. So here's an example of a simple piece of shareable content that I use on Instagram and Pinterest. You'll notice that the color choices are super simple and that it's not heavily branded and that it doesn't include any images of me. So people are sharing it because it's simple and it has great content that they either relate to or they think that it could support their followers. Now, once someone shares this content, my reach has just dramatically increased. Oftentimes my follower count will increase and I'll get more views on my website, which includes a ton of testimonials. And then I've even had people buy into digital products, all from one piece of content that got shared. That's why this is so important. Personal branding tip number 5, your content marketing flow. Now, by showing up in a variety of places online, you're making it that much easier for people to find you. And I love using content marketing because there's a lot you can do with organic strategies. And here's what my weekly content marketing flow looks like. First, I start with writing a YouTube script based off keywords that I know my ideal clients are searching for. Then I film, edit, and launch the video on YouTube. Now, during the launch, that's when I'll share that video on my personal Facebook page, my Facebook business page, a private group. I'll share it on Instagram. I'll share it on Instagram stories. You get the picture. The next day, I'll turn the YouTube script into a blog and send out the newsletter to my email list. And lastly, I'll have my Pinterest manager create pins for Pinterest. Now, having a posting schedule and using strategic hashtags and writing blogs that are optimized for SEO are all free tools that you can use to build your personal brand as well. So with my content marketing strategy, I'm getting that good SEO juice from YouTube, Google, and Pinterest, which is going to be working for me forever. And I'm also utilizing social media platforms like Instagram and Facebook. I know it can sound like a lot, especially if you're just starting out. When I first started, I focused solely on my blog and Facebook. So my recommendation would be to start with one searchable platform like Google, YouTube, or Pinterest, and one social platform. Then when you get into the flow, you can expand from there. Personal branding tip number 6, your offers. Now, be the brand that talks about their offers. There's a reason you're branding yourself, and that reason is because you're selling something. So make selling a part of what people can expect from your brand. And I see it a lot where coaches are scared to talk about what they're offering because they don't want to sound too salesy. But friend, not talking about your offer is doing a huge disservice to people. Your coaching offers have the potential to support others on a massive scale and to help them get results faster. So tell people about them often. Your audience oftentimes has to see your offer at least 5 times on average before they'll be inclined to take an action. So the more you talk about it, the better. Now, how you want to do this is completely up to you, but some places you can talk about your offer are your Instagram feed or Instagram stories. You can do a Facebook Live or talk about it in your Facebook groups. You can talk about it on your YouTube channel or Pinterest or your podcast. Again, there are a lot of options. And it's also important to mention that you need to know who you're talking to. So do you know who it is specifically that you are marketing to? Creating a detailed client avatar will help you create the kind of content that's speaking to the right people. And if you're not sure how to do this, you can go ahead and click this video and I'll walk you through the process. Basically, by following these tips, you'll be able to build a personal brand that attracts your dream clients and inspires major growth in your business. And if you want even more support on this topic and are looking to join a free community of online coaches who are all navigating this whole online coaching world thing just like you, I've created a Facebook group to help support your journey and to connect you with like-minded people. So go ahead and click that link in the description below to join now. And lastly, if this video was just what you needed in your coaching business, please let me know by liking it below, subscribing, and sharing it with your coach friends. Until next time, coach, keep building your empire.